All right, welcome to another episode of Smack Talk, Leave It on the Court. I am your host, Cerebral. Joining me today, I got my co-host, Joe. What's going on, Joe?
What up, what up?
AK is not here today. Joe, do you care to explain where AK is, or are we going to leave it alone?
We'll leave it alone. That man's down for the count today.
We'll let him live today. Okay.
Just put it like this. Vegans can't handle their liquor like the rest of us, all right?
I don't think anyone's shocked by that, actually. So we're laughing. Not really in laughing moods, either of us, really. So anybody that's been paying attention to the show, first off, thank you for all the supporters. We do appreciate you guys. But it's time to hit a little bit of a serious tone on my part. Me and Joe are avid Cubs fans. We make this very clear. We don't hide it. We don't run from it. 108 years, we had to hear that forever. And we finally won our World Series, and we were excited about it. I think that only made us even more crazy Cubs fans. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah. I mean, with 4 straight 90-win seasons, 4 straight playoff appearances, wild card kind of by technicality this year. We did lose in the wild card game, but nonetheless, it's a playoff appearance. I feel like an average Cubs fan, their expectations are World Series or bust every year. Would you agree?
Now, yeah.
My expectations are, if the team's playing good, I got your back. I'm confident in you. I will fight to the death. But the way we've played this season and the way the season panned out for us, had to play an extra game towards the end of the season. While the Brewers had 7 days off, we had 1 day off. MLB needs to work on that scheduling. Granted, some of the games were makeup games from April.
Most of the games.
And you guys that are from Chicago that listen, you understand how our weather works in April. It might snow April 30th, and it might be 80 degrees March 15th. It's just the way we got to deal with it. MLB, we got to have our opening day early in the season. I get that. But for these cities that are still cold, Minneapolis, Chicago, Detroit, I mean, spring baseball is, you're going to have makeup games.
Yeah. If you don't have a dome, you need to start your season road heavy.
Right. And that might be a bad thing for some teams, or, hey, maybe All-Star breaking on, I have a favorable home schedule where I'm home more. That's neither here nor there.
True.
You still got to come out and play. Our pitching has been questionable the last couple years. Wasn't the reason why we lost the wild card game. Leaving guys on base like we have been since 2015 is what it was.
So, as of September 1st, the Chicago Cubs had a 4-game lead on the division. Over the next 27 or so days, that 4-game lead completely disappeared to an even tie, to a team that at the beginning of the season you were dominating, but in the back half of the season was beginning to show their dominance over you.
We had their number at the beginning of the year.
Absolutely.
At one point, we were 12-0 against the Milwaukee Brewers.
It looked like it didn't matter what the Brewers did as far as their record goes. If we played them, we were going to beat them. But when we got to a 163rd game and the division was on the line, we could not pull out a game. We scored a run, but it was on one swing from Anthony Rizzo. He hit a solo home run. That was the only run that we scored.
You want to dig into the batting now? You want to dig into that? Because
some
stats for you.
But let's start with this. So the end of last season, let's start there. The end of last season, everyone said the offense was terrible. This is inexcusable. Changes have to be made. And what did they do? They fired their hitting. They said they fired their hitting coach and their pitching coach last year.
They lost a few coaches. Dave Martinez went on to the Nationals. Shout out to him. It's rough over there for him. I mean, they cleaned house.
Last offseason.
Yeah.
saying mediocrity would not be acceptable. So we fast forward to this season. Joe, go ahead, give them your stats.
So, if you know, Cubs acquired Chili Davis as their hitting coach. He was
Joe Madden guy.
He was Boston's hitting coach last year, okay? Since Boston got rid of Chili Davis, they have scored 100 more runs. They have hit 50 more home runs. Batting average is only up 10 points, so not a big shift there. Slugging percentage, though, is up 50 points, which is huge. Obviously, with the 100 more runs, that means they got 100 more RBIs. But they've also scored, I think it's just about one more run a game. That's huge.
Well, 100 runs, 162 games. It's going to be just sort of,
So now you have Chili Davis as Chicago's hitting coach. We are 1 run less a game, 50 less hits, 60 less home runs, 45 less RBIs. Batting average stayed about the same. I think it was 253 last year, and we were at 258 this year as a team batting average. Yeah. Slugging percentage down 40 points. 20 less extra base hits for the season, which might not seem a lot.
It matters.
But
extra base hits are huge.
And walks and strikeouts were down a little bit, so that's a good thing. But Chili Davis preaches opposite hits. Get in the opposite field. And us Cubs fans, we've noticed Schwarber going oppo a little bit. We've noticed Rizzo going oppo a little bit. Yeah. I'm not saying it's something that they can do on command, but they've done more than they have in the past. Mm-hmm. That's where you see the down numbers because I got to hit this oppo, I got to hit this oppo, I got to hit this oppo, and then you strike out or then you hit into the shift. Chili Davis, in my opinion, he's got to go. Our offense got worse than it was last year.
Significantly worse, in my opinion.
And so our pitching, I didn't get to watch these two games.
Before you get to the pitching, one more stat as far as our offense is concerned.
Yeah.
Including the wild card game, 40 games scoring 1 or no runs. This is the second most in the majors, not the National League, the majors. The only team that did that more than the Cubs is the Baltimore Orioles, who are absolutely atrocious.
They're below the White Sox.
The worst team in baseball. The worst team in baseball. That's where our offense compares. Mm-hmm. As far as mediocrity and not being able to come up with big runs when we need it.
I remember, some of you guys might not consider this a dynasty run. Us Cubs fans that are avid, this is a dynasty run. I don't care what you say. 4 seasons, 90-plus wins, 4 straight playoff appearances.
3 straight NLCSs.
3 straight NLCSs. And I remember a time where we were winning those one-run games, and it was the Cubs were leading that stat by far, where those grinding games, you got to dig deep and win. We won. We won those games.
You always knew, whoever the next guy was, you always knew he was going to do something.
Now we're losing these games.
Absolutely.
You tell me that the Cubs suck right now, you ain't going to get no argument from me. Because they, compared to our expectations, they're not meeting them on the bat. They're not meeting them on the offensive end. I didn't expect... If we did win that division, that would have been great. I feel like it's a standard now with the team and the talent that we have that anything less than winning the division is putting you in a very...
That wild card game's tricky.
Tricky.
I mean, it feels great when you win it, but when you lose it, it doesn't feel fair.
Yeah, Baez came through, tied the game up for us. Shout out, Javi. Great year. Love what the kid's done this year.
Yeah.
And you've seen it in the years coming up to this year. You've seen, okay, Javi makes those tags. He steals those bases. He's a great fucking base runner. I mean, I've seen the guy score from first on an overthrow when he was stealing second. Yeah. He stole home, like, what was that, 2 or 3 times in a matter of 10 games?
Yeah, he's made a thing of that.
Our pitching wasn't the reason we lost the wild card game, guys.
The wild
it
card
was
game,
not.
No.
Lester did his thing. you can't expect them to go in there and pitch a shutout against the Brewers against the Rockies, because they do have a good lineup.
Great lineup.
Their home park is in Colorado, sea level, all that. It adds to it. It does. But you got guys batting 280 and up and just rocking the rock. So
Trevor Story has, I think, like 37 home runs.
So for Hayward to strike out with bases loaded in a key situation is when I shut the game off. I said, I'm just going to get the ESPN updates and just go from there, because I didn't need any more stress this week than I already had on my plate.
I did not have that same level of discipline. I paced back and forth in front of my TV.
You had a TV. I had a cell phone with terrible service.
See, there you go. That's probably why, because the signal going in and out while we're losing.
It was good. I just, like, people would text me, and I can't open that. I'm streaming the game. I can't mess this stream up. I gotta just go watch the game.
I streamed the play-in game for the division. My phone, like, I kept getting phone calls. I almost put my phone on Do Not Disturb.
We were in the middle of class, and director comes in. He goes. And, I'm in Springfield doing a class for Department of Corrections now. And
shout out to Joe on the new job.
Appreciate that, guys. These boys are from the South. They don't like the Cubs. They don't like north of 80. They look at you different. Okay, all of them Bears fans. Don't get me wrong, but none of them Cubs fans. So
the Rams abandoned them.
Director comes into the class and he goes, "Oh, by the way, Cubs are losing," and you just hear a bunch of, "God damn it." That's all you hear. So that play-in game, wasn't able to watch any of it. Wild card game just was not.
There's so many things that I have on this that I want to make sure I don't skip.
Number one being we have too much fucking talent.
Way too much talent
to be losing a wild card game.
And you know what? I'm gonna go. Long term. This is a problem because guess what? The Brewers are not going anywhere anytime soon.
Christian Yelich, man. I mean,
he's going to win the MVP.
Couple episodes ago, Baez got it. Baez got the MVP on lockdown.
He took the MVP in the last month.
He stole it because these baseball writers, they are paying a lot more attention to what you're doing in the last 2-3 weeks of the season than they are in June. Especially
when you're in a division race. And the guy you're going against is who you're directly competing against in all other aspects.
Shout out to Christian Yelich, though. Two cycles in a matter of a couple weeks, I think it was. I mean, that shit's impressive. That kid's got stick.
I gave him Player of the Week last week.
And
I'm mad at myself.
I definitely said, oh, shit, the Brewers got Lorenzo Cain. Oh, shit, the Brewers got Christian Yelich. They just got good.
So the Brewers aren't going anywhere, and that was their division. They took it. Shout out.
I fucking hate every team in our division, but shout out to them for almost defying the odds, if you will, because not my cup of tea. I know we've said this story a couple times, or at least I have. One of my good friends, Wes, up in Milwaukee watching the game. I think last year or the year before.
Last year, yeah.
Basically, you guys got a good team, and the Brewers fans are just, you guys got the division. We're the Brewers. We're going to fuck it up somehow. So shout out for that team giving that city some baseball hope.
Wait a minute. Hold on. You just reminded me. I got to get you to stop doing something. I got to get you to stop telling teams and organizations that they're stuck and they're never going to win, because every time you have said it, that team is broken through.
Hey, Washington, you really dig deep into those stats, and you can't even begin to say that the fucking Capitals were going to win, because they were just...
They did, Joe!
But the Brewers, okay, they are not going to be...
The first half of the season, they're the Brewers. I'm not worried about them. I kept saying, I don't know, Joe.
I need you to stop being so damn optimistic, then, okay? Tit for tat, motherfucker. Okay, it's all right. We lost to the Cardinals. We're gonna win this play-in game. I don't know, Zach. We got this wild card. I don't know, Zach. So good, tit for tat, bro. Okay, all right. I'm just making sure. But
stop giving them the kiss of death.
Brewers have not won anything yet. They won the division.
True.
Awesome. Kudos. Give Milwaukee some sort of hope. Can they win? Can they win the World Series? It's fucking October baseball. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. You had Chris Sale pitching the other day for the Red Sox. Came in and struck out the side. First inning. They ended up losing that game, but now you got to face David Price like they did last night.
Not Chris Sale's fault they lost that game.
Chris Sale won. They won the first game.
Oh, okay.
David Price and them lost last night.
Right.
Gary Sanchez hit that fucking ball far. Fenway Park has the Green Monster, the big wall. He damn near hit it out of the park.
Right.
So
you don't ever see that.
The Brewers are gonna have to really fucking come with it to get out of the NL because you still got the Dodgers.
The Rockies are not a cakewalk.
No, but I think they're out. I think they're down 2-0. I think they're done out of this.
They're
series.
down to they're down. The Rockies have had a lot of traveling in the last week alone, and that catches up to me. So being at home is going to help them. But I'm not off of the Cubs yet. So the Brewers, it's their division. The Cardinals, I'm sorry, we have to worry about the Cardinals next year.
They got close.
They got really close, and a lot of that was in the second half after they fired their manager.
They got some young boys over there, man.
They always have some young boys over there.
Like you said, getting rid of Matheny was probably the best thing they could do.
And now they're going to go into an entire season with the interim manager, which they made their official, skipper. And that team believes in him. That team rides behind him.
That's the biggest part because when you have your comrades following that leader and ready to go, it pays dividends.
It's a 90-win team.
Yep.
So there's a lot of things that the Cubs are going to have to look at. All year, before the season even started, I have been saying I do not want the Cubs to go after Bryce Harper.
No.
I've been saying that. I said we don't need him. Our offense is talented enough. Where are we going to put him?
Pitching.
I'm not going to be mad if we go and sign Bryce Harper now.
I mean, it wouldn't be terrible, but that leaves Hap. Where are you going to put Happer? I
don't give a fuck where we put any of these guys. I want to score.
Yeah, but you see how good that offense was when our pitching was dominant. Bullpen. I mean, there was a point where, all right, you only pitched 6 innings as a starter. Cool. We got 2 more innings to go, and we got the best closer in baseball. Well, at the time, the best closer in baseball coming in for the 9th inning and sewing the shit up.
Right.
Brandon Morrow was hurt this year. Pedro Strop had that little hiccup.
Everyone.
KB got fucking smoked in the head with the fucking 99-mile-per-hour fastball,
and then shoulder injury.
And like you said, he ain't been the same.
Yeah. Anthony Rizzo had back spasms.
We lost KB for what we thought was going to be a 10-day DL stint, and it turned into like 2 months. Yu Darvish, in my opinion, is probably never going to pitch for the Cubs again. I think he's going to retire. That's my personal opinion. So it leaves us to the question of who do we have? Lester just got a year older. Hendricks did his thing. Yeah. Quintana, can we have Eloy back, please? Because this motherfucker, don't even get me started on Quintana. I wanted nothing more than to have Quintana on our team when he was killing it for the White Sox.
Agreed.
1 year later, we get him. Awesome, Quintana, thank you. You are going to solidify this rotation.
All you did was add more questions.
And now he's pitching. How do they refer to him on ESPN 100? A Mercedes or a Buick or something like that? They're like, which Quintana are you going to get today? You're going to get the Buick or you're going to get the Mercedes?
You'll get both in the same game.
That motherfucker pitching like a goddamn 99 Toyota Camry, if you ask me, okay? And I know these guys are on a different level, and there's some times where we critique them, and I could never do what they do.
Yeah, no, we're not saying that we can go out there and do what their job.
By any means. Fuck, everybody on the White Sox roster has some sort of talent, but I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, yeah, that's easy, or they should be able to do this. You are getting paid a lot of money, and I feel like you should match that with how you perform on the field.
Absolutely.
There are times where pitching and batting go hand in hand, and sometimes they're on the opposite ends of the spectrum. You have great hitting and no pitching, you got to score 6 runs to win a game. Yeah. Sometimes you have great pitching and 2 runs wins a game. I remember Chris Sale specifically saying, 1 fucking run. You guys can't get me one fucking run. And it's true. He goes out there and was pitching gems for the White Sox, shutouts, 1-run games.
Loses. No decisions.
A loss. A no decision, like you say. You can't give me one fucking run. So sometimes they go hand in hand. Sometimes your batting's here, your pitching's here. It's baseball at the end of the day.
Right.
These fans that say they don't want Joe Madden or they want him gone, think about what he's brought us.
Let's talk about that, because that is what the conversation was as soon as that wild card game is over.
Does his mad scientist approach hurt sometimes? Yes, it does, but he's playing the numbers. There's a reason why Hayward and Schwarber didn't start that game, because as a collective, I think they were batting 150 against lefties. I don't like those odds, but it's the playoffs. Anything
that's
can happen.
with 162 games to sample from.
I've seen Schwarber go yaya against the Cardinals and put it on top of the scoreboard.
I watched that same guy not play an entire regular season
and come in and bat 412 in the World Series, and thank you.
So, stats be damned. There's some situation where it's, a player's going to be what he's going to be.
Yes.
Now, I've heard people calling for Joe's job all week. Let me tell you something. The grass ain't always green on the other side. Now, I am upset with some of the decisions that Joe Madden has made. Absolutely.
All the way to keeping Chapman in the World Series and Rajay Davis hitting that home run. It goes that deep, guys. It does.
Absolutely. That being said, can you name a replacement that we are going to get? Because there's only one, and we've talked about it on the show, that we are willing to take, and that is Joe Girardi.
Joseph Girardi.
Do you know that Joe Girardi wants this job? Because if you don't know that, you do not fire Joe Madden.
No.
And even if you do know that, is Joe Girardi a better fit for the players that you have? I don't know if that's the case.
Well, some were saying that Joe Madden's laid-back approach, pajama day, or when he had the zoo day, like all that stuff, it boosts the player morale. It kind of chills everything out. But is that a good thing? Because you got Matheny, who was a hard-nosed asshole, and his players said, I'll go up there and strike out. It's not my job, it's yours. They don't give a fuck. So you got to find that median. You have to find that median. And I feel like there are times where Joe Madden is a little softer on the end. And the one thing he does is I feel like he sticks up for his players a little bit too much. I feel like some of them need to be held more accountable, in a sense. It's not that dramatic.
That's a double-edged sword too, because
yes, it is.
Because he sticks up to them to that much of a degree, they're willing to run through walls for him.
Right.
Now, when they're not performing, how much good does that do you?
Right.
But they're still willing to go through a wall for you.
I mean, I've had guys, this Addy Russ, guys, if you don't know, he's gone 40 games next year, solely based on allegations, which is very tough because if you're a Major League Baseball player, you are held at a different standard. You are not allowed to have those allegations against you, but it's what they are, allegations.
Right.
He was not proven in a court. He was not arrested. There is...
No. That being said, if he is guilty and there's proof to prove, and if he's guilty, I don't really even care about the proof. If he's guilty, he deserves that and more.
Yes,
in all honesty.
Absolutely.
But if he is innocent and he is being suspended because of allegations, I have a problem with this significantly. It's irresponsible.
Shout out to the NFL for this too, by the way.
Yeah, the league that started all this. It is irresponsible without any proof. I don't know the details of this because I have not been paying.
Who does? I mean, all she said was, this happened at the beginning of last season, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, but it came back up because of a blog
It came back out. So I can't say what I would feel in that sort of situation. Maybe she wasn't emotionally ready to talk about it. Whatever it may be. If you are getting your ass beat by your significant other, you need to follow the protocol and call the police and get the police report and get the shit in the file. Because now it's just allegations. Am I mad that Addy Russ has gone for 40 games? Yeah, he's one of my favorite Cubs. I mean, he's done great things while I was at Wrigley Field watching the games. He's done great things in the playoffs, he plays spectacular defense.
At one point in time, I think we both agreed he was our favorite player.
He still is, and I it sucks to say, but it's just there's just something about his swag that I feel like he needs to get his mind right and get back to that little dude that can hit the ball a fucking mile.
He just plays smooth.
His defense was never a question for me. Javi,
better defender, not as sound.
Not a better. Let me think about how I'm going to word this. Maybe not necessarily better, but more skilled and more agility, so he's able to make plays that Addy wouldn't. So they have the same defensive ability. I think Javi is just more athletic.
Javi can make the really, really, really spectacular plays,
yes.
But Addison's going to make the everyday, this is simple, I'm not going to make it look flashy because I don't need to make it look flashy. Right. It's just going to work.
Right. So if you ask me, am I mad that he's gone? No. Yes, no, yes, no. But we have Daniel Murphy, who is a great fucking hitter. Plain and simple.
And
Cub killer.
And a definitive leadoff man.
Yes. When he was on the Mets, killed us. When he was on the Nationals, killed us. Now he's on our team. Do I like Daniel Murphy? Absolutely fucking not. Do I love that he's in a Cub uniform and hitting first in our lineup and playing second base? You bet your fucking money I am.
That being said, he helps us win another World Series. I love Daniel Murphy.
Love him.
But until then, I'm not going out to buy a Daniel Murphy jersey.
No, absolutely not.
You know, speaking of buying jerseys, like a couple weeks before the season was over, I was thinking, I'm good to buy a Hayward jersey now.
Not after he struck out.
Not after that strikeout.
The guys that were in my bunk, they're like, you done watching the game? I said, yeah, Hayward just struck out, bases loaded. And on top of that, the play before that was catcher's interference. You had a fucking gift. You had a Aaron Rodgers to Kyle Fuller interception gift, and you don't take advantage of it. Sorry to bring that cold sore back up, but that's
with 3-run. That's not a cold sore right now.
Yeah, all right. Play some good teams, and then we'll talk. Okay. I already had. But where was I going with that?
The gift.
You had it. I mean, you had a routine play, got him out. Nope, catches interference. You got bases juice now. Mm-hmm. You can't get one. And
the pitch that he swung at to strike out was damn near in the dirt.
Yeah, I remember specifically saying motherfucker and shut it off.
Because if it was a strike that he swung at,
so be it.
So be it.
Right.
The dirt. And I threw my phone and I almost broke it. Thank God for where it landed. Yeah.
I feel you. But now if you were to ask me, okay, we beat the Rockies, okay, in 13 innings. Are we going to beat the Brewers?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
First off, we used all of our good pitchers against the Rockies.
All of them.
We used all of our good starters in extended terms. And at the time watching it, I'm thinking to myself, fuck it, whatever it takes to win this game. Because that's where we were at.
You basically had to play back-to-back playing games. So your mentality as a manager is, I need to do whatever it takes to win these two games. Yeah. Or you win the first game, now you got the division, you got a little break. You got some, not much, but you have a couple days to get mentally prepared.
Right.
But you lose that game. Now the next night you're playing another mentally tough game
where you have to reach even further and take even more risks.
Absolutely.
So I mean, the way that he managed that game, in all honesty, it was purely just to win that game. He wasn't even caring about the next series.
You have to.
Yeah, I mean, you have to, because it's win or go home. So the decisions he made, I understood, but in the back of my mind, I know, even if we win the series, even if we win this game, we're gonna get smoked in the next series.
Yep.
We've been talking about the Cubs for 30 minutes.
One last thing. Zach might not be happy to watch these MLB playoffs stress-free, but I am. Over. I am. I'm glad that I get to sit back. I mean, Aaron, he was watching the Yankees game the other day. JD Martinez hits that 3-run home run. He said, I'm not watching it. I'm leaving. He's freaking out. I'm like, bro, It's game 1 of 5. It's game 1 of 5 in the first series. Chill out. And I looked at it. I said, well, that would be me if the Cubs were in it. And fucking whoever hit a 3-run home run in the first inning.
Talk about it.
So I feel them, but I'm glad that I get to watch it stress-free. I am.
All right. Well, let me go to something that's way less stressful, at least at the moment. Football.
Y'all boys in first place, huh?
3-1. Wait. No. We'll save that for later. I got something for somebody.
I was gonna say, bro.
My player of the week is as obvious as it's ever going to be. And Joe, I swear to God, I'm gonna let you go first. And if you steal it, I'm walking out.
I should probably think about who my player of the week's gonna be now, huh?
It's actually the real. Wait, Julio grew his hair out?
Apparently, he's got dreads.
That's why he ain't got a touchdown.
Bro, did you see the stat for him? Like when he has more than 100 receiving yards, they're like ash trash, and then when he has less than 100 receiving yards, they have like a great record. I don't know. Either way, shout out to Calvin Ridley though.
Wait a minute.
Free agent pickup of the year.
I think I got my hot take.
What is it? What it is?
Is it time for Atlanta to trade Julio?
Yeah, you can come to New Orleans.
You actually have enough weapons.
I know.
So that's my hot take. We're just gonna throw that in the universe, and when it comes back in 2 months, remember Cerebral said it first.
Yep. And an update. AK owes me $50 for that Saints Giants game, and yes, I did beat him in fantasy, so he owes me 50 push-ups there too.
2-0 on the weekend. Look at that. Wait a minute. Speaking of fantasy football records,
I'm back to 2-2. I'm okay. I'm not in that fuck fantasy mode right now, but I am in that. God damn it! I need to start drafting better running backs because year in and year out, that is my weakest fucking position.
let me tell you something. Running backs in our league is atrocious.
Yeah.
Everyone is trying to trade everyone for running backs, not realizing that the
the
running back you're trying to trade for ain't no better right now.
For real, you barely got a running back. You just got a receiver that is positioned as running back. Okay.
Let me tell you something. When you guys were giving me shit about that, it's like the motherfucker gets receptions.
Yeah.
We're in a PPR league. I don't give a fuck about his rushing yards.
You're right.
4-0.
Take it.
Highest scoring team in the league.
I will tell you this though.
I would talk about shit while I can. Don't take that from me.
Go ahead. I've gone 9-0 and lost in the first round of the playoffs, so it's.
Oh yeah, no, it's different. It's definitely different. So we'll talk fantasy in here in a second. So wait a minute, are we gonna talk all the shit that goes on in our fantasy league in that group chat? The shit that happened yesterday.
What happened yesterday?
The transactions.
Oh, I mean, Malcolm just likes to talk shit. That's Malcolm's that's his overtime job is to talk shit, and it's like, dude, your Steelers are in last place. Okay, let's worry about the real shit that matters. This shit is fantasy. Anything can happen.
There's money on the line. Fuck you.
There is. You're right. There is. But I would much
Allegedly
rather.
Money on the line. There's no gambling in this league.
There is. I would much rather see the New Orleans Saints go to the Super Bowl and win it than winning. I would go 0-13 in fantasy. I don't care. Yeah, that's just. It's fun. It's you know what I mean. But it's. Yeah. I would much rather see my team do good, and.
Well, I've had the luck of being terrible in fantasy and my team sucking at the same time, so it's been lose-lose.
Yeah, well, now you got a good fantasy team, and the Bears are in first place.
As I go, they go.
Hey, man.
As they go,
I mean, for being 0-1 in the division and being first place, I like the direction you guys are going. I really do.
The defense is the part that nobody's worried about. I think that we all legitimately think that this defense is real. Rightfully so. We have a defensive player of the year caliber player. Like let's face it, he's the front runner for defensive player of the year right now.
Khalil?
He's had a sack, and a forced fumble in every single game so far.
Shout out to whoever picked him up in our fantasy league.
Hey, no, not gonna. No, I'm not letting that one walk. So. Joe, who drafted Khalil Mack in our league?
I have no idea.
I think
me.
I think you did.
I did.
And then what did you do with him?
Well, I needed a running back very bad, and I was trying from every other team in the league, and I said, Dion, I'll give you Khalil Mack for Carlos Hyde. And in the same breath, Dion said, send the trade. And I sent it. Do I regret it? In a sense, yes. But Carlos Hyde hasn't done terrible. But with Nick Chubb having that game last week,
he ain't going to get a lot of take.
I mean, he's still going to get Nick Chubb was very efficient last week. I'll put it that way. He was very efficient with what he did with his touches. Carlos Hyde's still going to get a majority of the touches, but Nick Chubb is on the rise, and Duke Johnson is kind of just the receiving backfield, if you will.
Yeah.
A receiving, running back out of the backfield. But y'all got the bye week this week, right?
Yep. So
and you
I
come back and play
free or move around, which is
that Buccaneers game, man. That was good. That was an exciting game to watch in a sense.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the only game that we recap. There was actually a lot of good games.
It was
a lot of good games.
But see, the deceiving issue with that is Tampa Bay, yeah, they were good offensively, but defensively they weren't. But it was good to see.
Pass defense in the league.
It was
and
good.
I'm openly going to admit that.
As far as, am I happy to see the Bears doing good? I could give a shit either way. I love talking shit to Bears fans. But I will also commend them when they are doing good. And right now, they're not playing terrible. They are playing some good football. But you did what you had to do against the Buccaneers. No less than, if you scored anything less than 30 points, it was going to be a, come on, man. Really?
But that would have fallen more in place with what's been happening this season so far as the offense is concerned. The offense has been lackluster. The offense has not showed us anything that makes us be like, this is a step in the right direction. But for the first time, the offense actually looked like, okay, there might actually be something here with this kid and this head coach, the offense, all these weapons and all this stuff. It looked really good. Granted, worst pass defense in the league statistically. But you still have to perform.
Yeah. Mitch Trubisky was getting the ball to different receivers. Different receivers were scoring. He wasn't favoring anybody. I mean,
he wasn't jumpy. His feet were settled. He was throwing accurately. He actually started that game off shaky to me.
Yeah.
I think because we can actually slow walk the dog on this one. There was a lot of questions going into that game. A lot of people were talking, when are we going to see that signature game from Mitch Trubisky? That's been the thing, since halfway through the season. It's like, okay, all these other young quarterbacks, they got games that show some sign of hope, even if they don't work out.
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson had that first 4 games where he looked unbeatable. You got Patrick Mahomes looking like a world beater and throwing touchdowns all over the place to whoever has hands. You've even got Blake Bortles, a little bit older of a quarterback, but him having the game of his life against a Bill Belichick coach defense.
Right.
You've got these guys that, they have a lot of question marks, but they're still having games where it's like, okay, there is something there. Until last week, Mitchell Trubisky hadn't had that. He was questionable at best. You didn't know. You looked at him play and you didn't really know why the Bears traded up to draft him.
I mean, I was getting, a couple messages from Bears fans. Oh, Trubisky, I told you he was cold. Well, hold on. It's
1 out of 16 games.
It's still a very small sample size. Mm-hmm. Did he go out there and do what he needed to do? Yes, 100%. Did he look good while he did it? Yes, 100%. Go try that against the Rams. Tell me how that's going to work out.
He almost doubled his career touchdowns.
Bro, I'm a realist when it comes to this shit. I do talk a lot of shit. I do. And that's kind of a good thing and a bad thing. Because I'll joke in any situation, whether it's good or bad. Yeah. But in the same sense of, it was against the Buccaneers. Yeah. Y'all got to play the Rams still. You got to play the Packers again. You got to play the Vikings twice. Mm-hmm. So there are some defenses that you guys have to play that those are the games that matter.
Yeah.
Like Pat Mahomes getting this W against the Broncos, that's cool and all, but how did he look?
He didn't play to the same level he had in the first 3 weeks.
But he got the W.
He got the W. And he looked like he understood what was going on. That's just a really good defense.
Yeah.
I watched most of that game. The Broncos could not get to him. And they were trying.
Yeah.
So that means something. He was getting the ball out, with inches to spare, avoiding Von Miller. And he did what you want your quarterback to do, no matter what situation. He had a game-winning drive where he was poised. He wasn't rushed. He didn't make silly decisions for the sake of making silly decisions. He drove the ball down the field and found a way to get it into the end zone. I don't care what the rest of the game looks like, but if you have that opportunity at the end of the game and you perform, it honestly erased the rest of the performance for me, good or bad.
Right.
Right.
Y'all take that bye week, get some rest, come back with it. Y'all got the Dolphins and the Patriots, I believe.
Patriots at home.
Yeah.
October 21st.
Yeah.
Looked at tickets.
Did you?
Yeah.
Probably
Nosebleeds
expensive.
at $260.
Yeah. Them fucking
Bears tickets are back.
Yeah, bro. Shit, they've been like that though. I mean, it's the same thing with the Blackhawks. The tickets are just it's a hot commodity.
Well, the last handful of years, you could go to a Bears game for like $50.
Yeah.
But that shit's over.
I've never looked up Bears tickets in my life. Because when they did play the Saints, it was like in the middle of December, and I said,
I'm not going out there. You've gone to a December game once in your life. You're not going again.
Yeah, Christmas.
Yeah.
It was a little chilly in Lambeau.
There's a bunch of other shit that happened too that made that trip.
Man, dude, we first of all couldn't get a hotel. Had to stay in Manitowoc. If anybody knows what Manitowoc is,
I'm sorry.
Go watch Making a Murderer, because that's where that salvage yard is.
That's where you guys stayed?
That's where we stayed, yes. So that's about 40 miles from Green Bay. After the game, Justin's Ma Suburban ain't starting. I'm dressed up as Santa, trying to get people to come help us. Nobody's helping us.
Nobody's helping Santa Claus.
On Christmas, bro. On Christmas. Nobody. Because we had Illinois fucking license plates. On Christmas, bro.
Santa was trying to deliver the toys, and those Packers said, "Fuck you, you're a Bears fan."
And I'm not even a Bears fan. I just went because it was a cool experience. Bears, Packers, Christmas. Thought it would be a good time.
I remember getting invited to go, and I thought about it. I was like, nah.
That was, yeah. So we break down. Ain't no getting no help. Cop finally comes and, basically he's telling us, like, no, you guys are not sleeping in this fucking truck because you're going to freeze to death. And we were like, oh, okay. So
didn't think about that.
They said, oh, you think you can get us a hotel in Green Bay? And he laughed at us and he said, it's Christmas. Bears Packers just played. There is no hotels. Hence why we had to stay in Manitowoc. So we continued to call a cab, and that was about $170. And then we have to pay for a tow to get the truck to our hotel so Justin's stepdad can drive up in the morning and help us out. Me and Justin are flushed on cash. I mean, we have nothing left. Dion's the only one with money. Me and Justin look at Dion and say, you're buying breakfast. This is not up for debate. So we walk over to the restaurant and made Dion buy his breakfast. He said, no, I got you, man. I said,
we didn't care if you said no.
We didn't care if you said no, bro. You are buying breakfast.
You were either going to pay willingly or we were going to jump you and take your money.
Like, you were buying breakfast that morning. But, so, story doesn't end there. Justin's stepdad comes and fixes everything. Well, we start the truck and we start driving. Justin realizes he basically can't stop. Like, the truck will shut off again. So we're driving, we're coming up to an intersection, and light turns yellow, and we're not close. Like, this ain't no, let me get past this real quick. This is you ran a red light, bro. I was halfway in the back seat because I thought that was going to be my last time breathing a breath. I thought we were going to die.
I actually didn't know about that part.
Yeah. But we're here. Will I ever go to Lambeau again? Probably not. But needless to say, it was a great experience. The vibe and the atmosphere, they don't like people from Illinois at fucking all.
No, they don't.
But the vibe around the stadium, I mean, the stadium is, if you guys don't know, it's backed up right to a neighborhood. And everybody in the neighborhood, they open up their yards and garages so people can park and grill and party and, have a good time for, like, it was like $15 or $20 we had to pay. So it was a good vibe and it was fun, but I don't know about going back to Lambeau again.
All right. Well, that's Joe's Santa Claus Adventures. We're gonna try to get Joe in the Santa Claus suit again.
They wouldn't help Santa Claus, bro. I had everything but the beard.
You know how I feel about people from Wisconsin.
Yeah, they're weird. That cheese gets to your head, man.
Yeah, it does. So, wait a minute. Oh, where is it? Oh, see, this is what I get. So we had a list of games. I'm stalling. We had a list of games that we're going to break down. We're going to start with Steelers versus Falcons. Now, I highlighted this game mainly because the Falcons have found a way to be in a shootout every single game this season. So I think, and the Steelers have the pieces to give a shootout.
Man, that's going to be a shootout, man. Them rankings are damn near even.
Mm-hmm.
Falcons got the 9th offense. Steelers got the 8th. Falcons got the 26th defense. Steelers got the 28th. Steelers are 4th in passing. Falcons are 7th. Steelers are 29th in rushing, and the Falcons are 21st.
So I'm actually counting on the light show because I kept Ben Roethlisberger in as my starting quarterback in fantasy. So toss it all over.
You better. Can you do me a favor and call him, text him, and tell him to throw the fucking ball to Antonio fucking Brown, please?
Sure.
Tell him to stop throwing it to Juju fucking Schuster. God damn it.
Juju catching it.
Fuck.
I don't know what to tell you. So this is an important game because the Steelers are still playing from behind.
Yeah, they also got to play the Browns again. I think the Steelers are going to end up with 2 ties, both against the Browns.
I don't know. Baker's playing now. They may not be able to get the tie now.
Yeah, they're going to get the loss.
They're going to get the loss.
But, I mean, I guess the upside for him somewhat is Le'Veon Bell said he's going to come back week 7, it looks like.
Yeah, week 7.
What does that mean? I don't know.
He said a lot of things that I don't know how to feel about it.
It might help Swelly. It might help Wesley's fantasy team more than it helps the Steelers.
Yeah, definitely.
Swelly getting that award too. By the way, I hope he listens.
Yeah, that might save him from getting the award.
It might.
So Le'Veon Bell said some things. What he said. He said he still hopes to re-sign with the Steelers.
I mean, okay, so I know we're getting a little off topic here, but we are talking about the Steelers.
Yeah,
but
so we'll get back.
You are the GM of the Steelers. It is your job to figure out what you want to do in this Le'Veon situation.
Right.
Hypothetically speaking, I'm going to ask you, with the stuff that we know and the education that we have about sports, obviously it's not up to the GM, qualifications, but we might not understand the business side of it as much as we do as the performance and stat side of it. But what would you do in that situation? I mean, I feel like it's a Le'Veon, head coach, general manager, and owner need to sit down over dinner or whatever it may be, and they need to talk it out off the record. Everything that needs to be said by each party needs to be said. And they need to figure it out because a running back like Le'Veon Bell doesn't come by that often. I mean, you do have James Conner in the shadow.
You slow down a little bit.
Slow down a little bit, but I'm not looking at it as Le'Veon's a system running back anymore because James Conner has gotten quiet, whereas Le'Veon just keeps getting better and better.
Yeah,
and then finally Le'Veon busts out for that 300 total yard game and 2 touchdowns, and you scored 55 points in fantasy, and you're like, okay, that's why I drafted Le'Veon. But real life, team morale, all that, what do you do?
I look at Le'Veon because he's been incredibly honest about this situation. He said he doesn't know where anybody got that he was coming back after week 1 because he didn't communicate with anybody.
That's optimistic.
Anything.
Optimism. They wanted. They said,
yeah,
bro.
they were
but then
also,
again, you. I don't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry, but you got Antonio Brown and all these guys saying, "Big Ben, come back. Let's make this. Let's make one more run." I understand that you're being held up by duct tape and you're falling apart, but come back for one more year. Let's rock this shit out.
So I would agree with that until last week because in a very similar situation, Earl Thomas was not happy about his not contract situation. He played, unlike Le'Veon, broke his tibia. His contract negotiation for this offseason is ruined.
That was my safety in fantasy football.
His contract negotiation in offseason is ruined. It's just not going to be the same. And if you're Le'Veon Bell, you see that and you say, that's why I'm not playing.
Yeah, and I mean, if I'm not mistaken, after Earl Thomas got hurt, I believe he kind of looked towards the sideline of the Seahawks and
he gave him a middle finger, flipped him off.
Straight up.
And Pete Carroll knew what it was about because Pete Carroll knew not to bury him in that moment. He said, look, y'all don't know what that's about. Actually, Pete, we know exactly what that's about. Believe it or not, we know the situation as a whole. And he knows, Earl Thomas knows, he's not going to get close to the money he should have gotten.
And they never really got paid over there in the Legion of Boom, so he was waiting on this. He did?
At one point in time, he was the highest paid safety in football.
Okay.
But other people got paid, and then he started, he bottom 10.
Yeah.
But he's still a top 5, top 3 level safety,
Yeah.
and he wanted to be paid accordingly. Mm-hmm. The Seahawks just weren't willing to pay anybody in that Legion any more money.
Right.
So if you're Le'Veon, you see that and you say, that's why I'm not coming. That's why I've been holding out, because I don't want that to happen. Because Le'Veon's way more injury prone than Earl Thomas is.
And then he's injury prone and can't put down the dope and always suspended and all. And that's what I mean. Like, putting that all on the plate and giving it a real good look over and say, Dan, how many 16-game seasons have you played for us? Mm-hmm. I mean, availability matters.
Availability does matter.
So,
and the other thing, so we talked about Le'Veon not playing whole seasons. This motherfucker was still leading the league in touches.
Yeah, dude.
They were driving him into the ground, and that was his other point. He says, look, I want to play this year, but I'm not going to have 400 touches. I'm not letting that happen. And the only way that I have any say in that whatsoever is by not coming.
Yeah. But see, now he comes back. Offensive line is clearly pissed off at him. They're going to get on the field. They're going to get on the field, and they're going to want to win. That shit's going to disappear really quick. I don't know. Them first few touches, they might let them D linemen slip in and say, okay.
There may be a play or two, but maybe not, because you're risking his injury.
You're right.
To prove a point, do you want to risk Le'Veon getting hurt?
No, but sometimes that's the reality of it. You know what I mean?
If you're out of the playoffs, yeah, you stop blocking for him. But while you're still in the playoff chase, you do everything you can to make sure that Le'Veon is as successful as possible, because your team depends on it.
Yep.
So what was in the beginning, I was a little skeptical on Le'Veon. Week by week, I understand it more and more, and now I'm 100% on the side. Like before, I could go either way. I can understand both sides.
Until you really dig in deep, it's like, well, you're making millions of dollars. Why don't you just go out and play? Well, yeah, coming from average people who make 60 to 90 G's a year, millions and millions are, I would love to be a professional athlete. Well, hold on. Are you prepared to work out every day? Are you prepared to eat everything you need to eat so your body is ready to go? Are you prepared to go through copious amounts of money for massages and hyperbolic chambers and doctor's appointments and all this? Yeah, they might make a lot of money, but they're going to spend what we make in 3, 4, 5 years in 1 year just to keep their body going.
Way quicker than that.
You know what I mean?
It's been way quicker than that.
Yeah. So I hate the average person that says, but their first thing is, but they make millions of dollars. Well, yes, they do. But they're also in the entertainment industry. Yeah. That's the career path that was blessed upon them. Mm-hmm. It wasn't blessed upon us. And if it was, who knows if you're even able to handle that pressure? Because you go to college and you're the top athlete and you got people trying to get your autograph or give you this and give you that. Well, newsflash, you can't take that gift. You can't get that free dinner. That's the reality of it. Right. So you are under, again, copious amounts of stress that some people aren't able to handle. The stress doesn't always match what you're getting paid.
I like that word, copious amounts of stress. Copious.
I'm sure you're going to use that in the title, huh?
You read my mind. Let's write this down now before I forget. Copious amounts of stress.
So it's, I feel Le'Veon 100%, man. I mean, so now he's not going to come back till week 7, so that 400 touches is probably going to turn into 250.
Oh, they're going to run him into the ground while I have him.
Yeah.
Believe that.
So,
and that's his point.
Yepers. So, who do you think is going to win, Pittsburgh or Atlanta?
You know what? And
Pitt is at home.
Pittsburgh is at home, and I just cannot believe that they're going to fall that far behind as far as the division is concerned. These games are getting more, like, don't get me wrong, in the NFL you only have 16 of them, so they're all important.
Another thing that I want to say is, it's only week 1. Oh, okay. Well, it's only week 2. It's only week 3. It's only week 4.
We're a quarter way through the season.
When do you stop that? Because I feel you're a quarter way through the season. It's only week. Some of these teams are developing who they are. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they might have some tougher opponents towards the middle to the end of the season, but right now, you got to win. Yeah. I would love nothing more than Atlanta to be 1-4 after this week, and us be 4-1. Yeah. So I'm going Pitt just because fuck Atlanta.
I'm going Pittsburgh too, mainly because I believe in Pittsburgh's talent now, even without Le'Veon. I believe in Pittsburgh talent more now than I do in Atlanta's because they have issues. They have issues of their own. They cannot find Julio Jones.
Just keep throwing the ball to Calvin Ridley.
Calvin Ridley is a monster. He has 5 touchdowns in the last two games.
I know. I did pick him up, and I did get a couple tugs last week.
That was the easiest waiver wire of your life.
It was because I was on the top, and all I had to do was make sure Wesley wasn't going for him, and I had him. That was no question about it.
The downside to having the best team in the league is it doesn't matter. I look at the waiver wire, and I put in waiver wires every single week. Got one.
Yeah.
Got one.
Right.
And I was surprised at the one that I got because. But
if you have 2 waiver wires in when you're coming back, weren't used so. It's tricky, bro. It reverses and it inverts, and if you don't pick, you move out, or if you pick, you're not. It's weird how the waiver wires work. I'm in charge of it of my other league, and say me and you are week 1, you need a tight end. I don't need anybody. You use a waiver wire. Well, next week, depending on where the standings go, you could have the worst record. You could be 0-2, but since you used a waiver wire, somebody that's 2-0 is going to be before you because they haven't used any yet. So it's just it's different. It's different how waiver wires work. Okay. So I feel you though. Yeah, it's rough.
It's a little difficult. Copious, I would believe is the right word.
What you got to start doing is during the week when you have that opportunity to drop players and pick players up without a waiver claim.
Oh yeah.
But it's hard because you're like, well, I don't know if he's gonna do good, and then he has that game Sunday, and now everybody wants him. Mm-hmm. So it's.
Oh, it's very stressful. I'm trying to beef my team up for the long haul because I do have some issues that were pointed out, and I knew it, but whatever. So we're both going Steelers in that game, right?
Yep.
Probably game of the week is the next one. You got number 1 rated offense versus number 1 rated defense. You've got the Jaguars against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes looked like the real deal on Monday night. From the pure sense of the moment wasn't too big for him. Did he have those gaudy numbers that he had the first 3 weeks? No, but he had the important numbers. He had the game-winning drive, and he got the W at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm. You seen what Jalen Ramsey said about Tyreek Hill?
Yes.
He's a receiver. He said, "You mean return specialist?" He made the Pro Bowl for a return specialist, not a receiver. So I love Jalen's outspokenness. I really do. But
Tyreek Hill wants that smoke. He wants that smoke now. He said he hopes he plays press coverage.
Bring it.
Come get me. I like the smack talk.
I'm all for it.
I'm
all for the shit talking.
Always gonna bring up the smack talk when it comes up.
Yes.
But that's gonna be a good game because I don't.
You got the Comcast remote down here or no? I was say you could see if that game's gonna be on TV or not. I'm not sure if we get it.
Well, we're just streaming this on the TV, so
okay.
On the computer. So, so you've got is Leonard Fournette playing? I know you would know. Okay, he's not playing.
I don't. To be honest, I'm fucking pissed because I use him as my keeper in my Aurelio's league. And thank God I was able to get James Conner off the waiver wire because I'd be for real fuck fantasy football. God, man. And
No.
somebody in the group chat, he was like, I'll give you Leonard Fournette for so-and-so. And Malcolm was like, shit, I'd rather have TJ Yeldon. Justin's response was, I'll give you Leonard Fournette for so-and-so. I'm keeping TJ Yeldon, dude.
Wait, didn't somebody say the Jags don't even want Leonard Fournette right now?
For real. Oh, the Jaguar-Chiefs game is on Channel 2 today.
Ooh, that's nice.
While the Packers are Lions and playing, so we're watching the Jags-Chiefs game.
Yeah, I'm definitely watching that game.
Got to.
All while I'm doing other stuff. But yeah, so that's going to be a good game. You got defense versus offense. So we've learned in the past when you have these big juggernaut, number one defense, number one offense, personally, from what I've noticed, those defenses tend to come out on top.
Yeah, because with Leonard, if Leonard Fournette's out of the lineup, it makes the Jaguars' offense better. Don't at me. That's the way it is. I don't know what to tell you.
You're right. I don't understand how that's the case.
Because their options and their creativity expands with
they can't be one-dimensional.
Exactly. Leonard Fournette's in the game. Oh, well, I'll bet you my life savings he's about to run the ball. You know what I mean? Oh, TJ Yeldon's in the game. Oh shit. What's he gonna do? Pass, run. You know what I mean? Leonard Fournette in the game. Yep, he's getting the handoff. Yeah. So
because he should.
As he should, definitely, absolutely. He's a solid running back, but again, availability matters. Yeah. It's what it boils down to. I think Jacksonville is. I think they're going to come out on top. I'm excited to watch this game, and if the Chiefs do pull it out, it's going to be a nail biter. There's definitely going to be no slacking. There's going to be no ass kicking. So, it's going to be a tight one.
So can you explain to me why? AK, and I wish he was here so we could talk about this.
I wish he was here too, but that man is
like a rock.
I picked him up this morning and today's gonna be rough. Said yeah, buddy. Said yeah, I bet it is, dude. Because God forbid he ain't gonna eat no greasy food to soak up that alcohol.
He just gonna have to suffer.
He's just gonna eat a green fucking pepper like an apple.
So he in our group text he said, if you guys decide to talk about Patrick Mahomes, we're just gonna sit there and be quiet. Why are you still hating on the man? You wanted to see him play against a good defense. He played against a good defense and won. And didn't look terrible.
14 TDs, no interceptions still.
He still hasn't thrown an interception. That's not fair. I have said on the show that I decided to get on the Patrick Mahomes trains early. And I'm not getting off until this ride comes to an end. Now, granted, I probably do believe the Jags are going to win this game, but I'm picking the Chiefs.
All right. At least as a podcast, we'll get that game right.
I don't know, man. These goddamn ties are killing me. Very exciting game. I actually can't wait for that one. So next game. This is actually the last game. We don't have 5 this week. We only have 3.
We're still talking about the Saints. I don't care what we have to. I just figure week in and week out, we're going to talk about the Bears. We're going to touch on the Giants and touch on the Saints just because they're our teams. You know,
that's fine. I don't care.
All right, I'm just making sure.
So the next game that we got is Vikings versus Eagles. I actually don't know who's the home team in this.
Eagles.
The Eagles are okay. I did have that right
again. Playoffs last year.
Yeah. A revenge game for the Vikings, who are struggling right now.
The Eagles beat the shit out 38-7 in that playoff game.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck what anybody says. If the Saints were playing the Eagles, we would not get shellacked that bad. But we also couldn't beat the Vikings off that bullshit ass play. Yeah. But
the Saints were better. Were better.
We weren't gonna go out like that.
Right.
No doubt. Vikings had a chance to play the Super Bowl in their home stadium last year.
Never been done.
How, like...
You don't need... There's nothing else to motivate.
I mean, granted, like, the fans might not be Minnesota... all Minnesota fans because it's a Super Bowl. You got fans... If you're willing to pay that ticket, you're going to get in the stadium. But you're at home. You're comfortable there. You know the ins and outs. You know everything about that field and that stadium. That That shit matters. Matters big time.
100%. Now the Vikings are coming off of 2 straight losses. One to the Bills, which was flabbergasting. I don't know what other word to use, honestly. It just didn't make sense to anybody. And then they turned right back around and played Thursday night against a really good Rams team that I think a lot of people are picking to come out of the NFC this year.
Thank God for their passing game because their rushing is fucking atrocious.
Yeah.
Wow.
Kirk Cousins is looking like he was worth the signing, but, I mean, they still need a running game. And, I mean, when you're playing other top-flight teams, it comes down to that.
You got to be able to run and pass.
Yeah.
The run game opens up the pass game. The pass game does not open up the run game.
Yeah.
Trust me, I know. I'm a Saints fan. Before Mark Ingram and Kamara had that year, it was, I mean, we're still pass dominant. We are. But it was nice to have that rushing aspect of the game come into play last year.
I think you're only pass dominant right now because Ingram's been out.
Yeah.
I think once Ingram goes, because last year you were more run dominant.
Yeah.
I think
definitely.
Once Ingram comes back, because he comes back this week, we'll see what Kamara does for me in fantasy.
Ingram, no.
Right.
This is week 4, so he comes back.
This is week 5.
Is it?
Yeah. Saints no. 31, bro.
Oh, shit. So, all right. Yeah, that is right. We are in week 5, huh?
The season's a quarter of the way over.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting. They're going to ease Ingram back in, I do believe.
Yeah, Ingram does come back today. Damn, I wonder if AK is going to start him.
Who's he playing against this week?
I don't know.
Oh, man. I escaped last week facing John.
I'm playing John this week. Hopefully I win.
Yo, he put up 209 points. He put up 209 points. Boy, I escaped. I was watching that game. I was watching the Monday night game. I think he has who's the running back again? Kareem Hunt. Mm-hmm. He has Kareem Hunt.
Oh yeah.
Every time he was on the field, it was like, why? Get him off the field. Don't give him the ball. And then he scored that late touchdown, and that's what got him within 2 points, but the game is over already. So I was like, okay, I can breathe now.
Yeah, this fantasy shit's stressful. See what I mean?
That shouldn't matter.
You can't at all. They hold no substance other than monetary value, and you're over here like, I need a brown paper bag. I can't breathe. I'm hyperventilating over here, and I'm over here worried about the Saints and fantasy football in the same week. Well, I'm fucking have a heart attack over sports. God damn it!
Just be happy that you're not playing. Well, actually, no. You do have to worry about me and the Saints at the same time.
Yeah, I need you to lose. Okay, any fucking time now. So yeah.
No.
Yes.
I don't want to.
I don't care what you want. It ain't about what you want.
Why is Odell Beckham and Lil Wayne sitting next to each other doing an interview? Hold the fuck on.
Bro.
What is happening?
Bro. Did you listen to any of the Carter 5, by the way?
I did.
I got a couple songs and that's about it. Bro, just stop, bro. Like, just let it go. Because you're never going to match that Wayne. You're never going to match that when you heard that lighter flick. You're not going to match that, bro.
I understand why you say that because of our generation, but Lil Wayne has influenced
big time.
Influenced a lot of today's artists. So while our generation isn't necessarily into that music in the same level, that song "Don't Cry" with XXXTentacion, huge for a bunch of reasons. One, because the kid is no longer with us. Two, that sound combined with Lil Wayne's, that hits a lot of areas. It's kind of a spray shot as far as fandom goes. That song Mona Lisa with Kendrick Lamar, there's incredible storytelling.
I like that one. That's a good one. Which brings me to the point of this generation, the music that they like is, personally to me, it's not good. I don't like it at all.
But it's influenced by something that you loved.
True.
They just took the portion of it that they took is the Zandout, the lean, the hair, the flashiness, the not always making sense of it. not necessarily the lyrical side. Like the generation behind us, they don't really care so much about the lyrical side. But Lil Wayne's sound transfers, and it showed in his first week numbers.
Oh yeah, the album did great as far as, platinum and whatever streams, all that. It did great, but I listened to the Drought 3 15 times over before I would listen to the whole Carter 5 again. Yeah. And I mean, I don't know if you listen to that new Kevin Gates album, but that I like. That is
Well, Kevin Gates speaks a lot more to the issues that we have in our adult age.
Yeah. There's, he referred to Stateville a few times, and he goes, there was one part he goes, "Fuck any CO that encountered Kevin." I'm just like, damn. I mean, that's real though. You know what I mean? He's in there. Yeah, bro. Like, whoa, I ain't do nothing, bro.
You taking shots on disc records now?
No, not at all. Not at all, bro.
All right, so we're gonna get back to it. I do love talking. Hip hop is pop culture. I don't care what anybody fucking says. Vikings and Eagles. Yo,
he just got baptized in the goddamn Amazon River, bro. What the fuck was that?
Real quick, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going off topic again. So I don't know why that reminded me, but D-Mob showed me the video of him swimming with sharks the other day. So you about lost your motherfucking mind.
You know what? And I said, "What's up, bro? You gonna learn how to surf or anything?" "Nah, bro, I can't swim." And then in the same breath, "Yeah, I was swimming with sharks."
There were 40 fucking sharks in that video just swimming.
You crazy, bro.
His legs dangling.
Damn, that'd be a toothpick to a shark, bro. Dude. That little skinny ass leg.
He tells me it's like they told him, it's like, keep your arms like crossed like this, because if your arms start foiling, they may see you and think you're a fish and get interested.
Dion said. Dion grabbing his shoulder blades, his skinny ass arms all the way wrapped around.
Just grip. So yeah, if he's up before you leave, gotta have him show you that video. I said, you're fucking crazy. No chance in hell.
Hey, bro, why don't you learn how to surf?
Definitely from a tropical island.
Nah, I can't swim, bro.
Wait, how are you from a tropical island? Like, you can't. Never mind, we're not gonna do that.
Yeah, I was gonna say we can't do that because you already know what I'm gonna say.
Back to Vikings and Eagles. Who do you got in this game? Wait, actually, first off, I was talking about the Vikings. The Eagles are coming off of a bad loss.
Yeah,
against the Titans. Mm-hmm. Carson Wentz is still getting back into the swing of things. The Vikings I want to say they're both 2-2.
No, Minnesota got the tie. 1-2-1.
Oh yeah.
Minnesota needs to win. Philadelphia needs to win. So I'm going with Philly.
Okay.
Because Minnesota got that ass slacked by Buffalo. Embarrassing. Not saying that that's what their defense stands for, but it happened. That's reality. It happened. Y'all got shellacked by the Bills. Mm-hmm. So,
who still aren't good.
Nope. And then the Packers proceed to shut them out 22-0.
Which makes that look that much worse.
Yes. But the Packers tied with Minnesota, so
I don't know what's right anymore.
It's a carousel.
Right.
We can go round and round. We can go round and round all day.
Any given Sunday.
Yep. I'm going Philly.
You're going Philly. I think I'm going to go Philly too. I haven't seen anything that makes me really believe in the Vikings yet this year. Had a great season last year, but I just don't see that same magic right now.
Nope.
I don't see the same magic out of the Eagles either, but that makes sense to me. Your starting quarterback towards ACL and is working his way back. Mm-hmm. So that at least makes sense to me. Last matchup that we're going to talk about for the day, I think, is going to be Saints versus the Redskins. Saints are at home. They get Mark Ingram back.
Monday Night Football.
I
get to watch that, bro. I'm home this week.
Oh, nice.
We got firearm training this week. So I'm home all week. Get to watch.
Do you have your FOI card?
I do.
Huh, I didn't know that.
Yep. I'm about to get a gun, too. Don't know what yet, but something.
Okay. Whenever you want to go to the range, let me know.
What do you got? A gun?
I know what I have. I'm not saying all of it.
I got you. Yeah.
Yeah. You want to go to gun range? Let me know. Saints Redskins.
6th ranked offense for the Saints against the number 1 defense.
Is Mark Ingram going to be enough to give them another?
Motherfucking barely.
Well,
barely.
Ironically, and this is why I say you keep giving people the kiss of death. Last week you talked about Alvin Kamara not being able to rush the ball.
Killed it. You're welcome. So you either want the kiss of death or you don't. Stop being you. There is copious amounts of contradiction going on right now. Okay, pick one, dude. Yeah. You're welcome for the episode title too, Zach.
Your kiss of death is real.
You either want it or you don't. Pick one, dude.
So now that Ingram's back, he is going to add another dynamic to their running game because they're just different styles of runners.
Because this Gillislee guy, I'm like, okay, he did a little bit for the Patriots. I thought he was going to be all right. No. But you still got Michael Thomas. Michael Thomas and Kamara got 77 receptions between the two of them so far this year. Mm-hmm. That's a lot, dude.
4 games.
4 touchdowns out of both of them, almost 800 yards. Drew Brees has 1,300 yards and 8 touchdowns, and half of them come from just those 2 players.
Right.
So it's going to be nice to have Ingram in there, maybe somewhat fly under the radar for the first week or two, just because
It'll make the offense less predictable.
Yep, because you're going to have, oh shit, there's Michael Thomas, oh shit, there's Kamara. Who's going to guard Ingram now?
Realistically, I think it's going to help Kamara long term because, I mean, he's talented as all get out, but you can't run at that pace for an entire season. You'll wear out.
Right.
So I think this gives him the ability, I give the team the ability to pick spots on when they're going to really feature him and keep him reserved. And he'll still, like production-wise, the numbers will still be there. He just won't have to work as hard to get them.
Yeah.
So that's really going to be a huge deal for the Saints. So that's looking good for them. As far as the Redskins go, Alex Smith is Alex Smith.
Shout out to AK since he's not here. I'm going to go ahead and get the viewers the phrase that they haven't heard in a while. In all reality, Drew Brees is still underrated. So as much as they are going to go out and say, oh, Drew Brees throws the ball here, whatever, I mean, the man's got a 76% completion rate right now with 1,300 yards and 8 touchdowns. Mm-hmm. You talk about greatest quarterbacks, you go to Tom Brady and you go to Aaron Rodgers. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Will I pick Aaron Rodgers over Drew Brees 8 out of 10? Yes, I will, because he's just better. He keeps the interceptions to a minimum. Mm-hmm. But if you ask me, is Drew Brees better than Tom Brady? Yes, absolutely. But Tom Brady has the bling. He has the rings. He has all that. That's me.
Tom Brady's championships end a lot of arguments.
They do. As do Jordan's.
Yeah.
But you also have to say, well, LeBron went to 8 straight. Yes, he did. It's a feat that we probably won't see again. Yeah. But the team effort didn't get the job done. Right. The team effort for Tom Brady got it done.
5 times.
5 times. As Justin likes to say, Adam Vinatieri is the GOAT because without the field goal, they wouldn't have won. Well, my argument is without the defense stopping them to get the offense the ball, to get the ball into field goal range, they don't win the game. So is it on the defense? Is it on Tom Brady? Is it on the kicker? What's it on? Because you just can't say this is why they won the game.
Especially not when it's a kicker.
Very few in all of sports does a win and a loss come down to one play. It does happen. Yes, we could probably come up with a few examples right now.
J.R. Smith.
But very rarely does it come down to one play. But see, even then, you could argue, well, if LeBron hit 2 more free throws, or if Kyle Korver hit 2 more free throws, you know what I mean. But very rarely is it defined one play made or break the game. Mm-hmm.
Agreed. Alex Smith has looked like we know Alex Smith to look like. It's not flashy.
70% completion rate, almost 800 yards, 4 TDs, and interception. By Adrian Peterson, 56 attempts, 240 yards, 3 touchdowns. You know?
Yeah. Those are two guys. Those are two wily veterans that know how to play football. That was an interesting signing to me. It didn't get a lot of talk, the Adrian Peterson to the Redskins.
Right. Because you've seen what he did in New Orleans, and you're like, well.
But I watched him in Arizona.
Yeah.
And he was good.
There were flashes. Big flashes. Yeah.
What he did in New Orleans was not necessarily what he had lost a step and was incapable of doing.
Right.
Sean Payton just had better running back options, in his opinion. I don't disagree with him.
No.
I mean, you had sewn up options in Ingram and Kamara that were going to lead your team for the next, however, 5 years. You can't say that about Adrian Peterson.
Right.
You don't know how much longer he's got. So this Redskins team is they're currently leading their division. They have an opportunity to solidify themselves as the best team in the division after missing the playoffs last year, against the Saints team that's in a fight of a division.
This game for New Orleans is the biggest one up to date, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Washington gives up roughly, let's see here. Where was I going? Washington allows 187 passing yards a game. That's
Not a lot.
That's
not a lot at
solid
all.
defense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're 42nd on third down efficiency. That's not a great number, but it's not terrible.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be a game where the Saints need to come out the gate, and I'm not saying they got to score right away, but they do need to move the ball down the field.
Mm-hmm.
They do need to get the first downs. They do need to make the right plays, and I almost feel like at worst you have to get a field goal out of a good chunk of your possessions to just slowly break that defense down. You probably aren't going to see big plays this game. You might not see the big yardage carries, the big yardage, touchdowns, but I feel like they need to just nickel and dime them. And if you only get 2 yards on this play, you get 5 on the next, and somehow you get 4, well, that's 11 yards, and that's a first down. You know what I mean? So hopefully that nickel and dime comes in, but I'm taking New Orleans.
Of course. For selfish reasons, I'm going to pick New Orleans too.
Yeah.
I got rooting interest. I got rooting interest in that offense. But yeah, no, I do think overall the Saints are a better team. I think Sean Payton's a better coach. I think that in this and that it's the Mercedes-Benz Dome now, right? Not the Superdome. That is still a home field advantage. That's probably top 5 in the league.
There was a point where it was
one.
I remember the Packers came in one year and they were hot, and we quieted it down real quick.
That's still a home field advantage that can change some things in a game. So you've got that going for them. Mark Ingram's first game back, he's gonna be gassed up.
I think he's ready to get the ball. I don't think you're gonna see. I mean, obviously you can't be in football shape unless you play football, but you can be in best possible shape, and I feel like with him getting that, suspension, maybe hopefully open his eyes into a sense of they got me. I gotta be better than that.
I'm glad you said that. Steroid use in football versus baseball, night and day. How it's treated. When people hear, oh, he got caught for, PEDs or whatever in football, so all right, when does he come back? In baseball, he's cheating the game, kick him out. He doesn't deserve it. Take all his money away. Take all his records away.
But see, some of those aren't necessarily PEDs, whereas they're just banned substances. Like, there was one incident, I can't remember who the player was. He didn't have PEDs in his system, but he had something in his system that covers up the PED use in your body and P
Like
tests and
antler
blood
spray,
tests,
yeah,
right.
yeah, right.
So you see that, and it's like, well, obviously you're trying to hide something, but innocent until proven guilty.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't get me for PEDs. You got me for another substance that is still shouldn't have in my body, but you didn't get me for the crime alleged.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. So I just find it funny how different those opinions are.
Mm-hmm.
You'll get crucified for doing PEDs in baseball. As for football, we don't care. We don't even think about
yeah,
it.
but baseball, it still affects numbers and everything, but I mean, you're talking a whole era where you were the minority if you weren't on steroids.
Right.
So football,
I find it hard. I find it hard to believe that during that time in football, people weren't using steroids.
right,
It's just
right.
for some reason baseball just made a bigger deal.
Yep.
So you got the Saints. I have the Saints. Pretty cut and dry.
Yep.
We have not talked preseason basketball, and I think I'm going to continue that. Unless you got something you want to talk about.
I mean,
This Jimmy Butler thing is getting entertaining for me. Just for me.
did you see the one dude coming to the gym and said, "Hey Jimmy, you got traded to I think it was the Kings or something like that." Jimmy was just like, and the dude just walked out of the gym like, yeah, no, I mean, basketball. I like talking about it, and sometimes I don't because at the end of the day, LeBron is what we talk about.
The most.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now that he's in LA,
it's never going to stop.
it's
It's never
there was this
gonna
gentleman that I was talking to, at in class, and he said, "Man, I'm a diehard Lakers fan." And I said, "How do you feel about LeBron coming there?" He goes, "He ain't gonna be no Kobe. He ain't gonna be no Magic. He ain't gonna be no Wilt. He ain't gonna be none of these guys." But
Will only won one championship. So.
yeah, but when you talk about the plethora of Laker greats,
Yeah.
you don't
They can spare a couple.
put LeBron in there.
Late in his career, no. But had he had his accolades with the Lakers, they would. Of
Standard
course.
procedure.
Yeah.
But he didn't. He is a Laker by default. He is not a. You put him on the Bulls, and all of a sudden he's the greatest Bull to ever play. Pfft, no. You know what I'm saying? You put him on a few teams, and just because he's on that team, his stats for that, he's not going to be anywhere in the record books for Lakers team stats, team history,
Never.
team anything.
No.
You know what I mean? So for some of these guys to say, "Oh, he's the greatest Laker," no, he's not.
Did you hear Kyrie Irving's comments? He actually talked a lot last week.
No, what was he saying?
One, and this is another reason why I wish AK was here. He apologized for the flat Earth comments.
Did he really?
He did. He said science teachers all the time are walking up to us. I had to change my entire curriculum because of you.
He said, "My bad. I went to Duke."
He actually didn't say if he does or doesn't believe in it, but he says he apologizes for making those comments. He didn't realize the impact of his words.
That's that Duke education, boy. I don't fuck with Duke.
And the other thing is, he said that if the Celtics would have him, he would love to stay there. That's where he wants to be. He said he's thought about it, and that's clearly what
Wasn't there talk that like Ant Davis might want to go there or something like that? Something of the sort?
Apparently, Kyrie reached out to him.
Get ready for Boston to take over the East like LeBron and the Cavs did and LeBron and the Heat did.
Yeah. Anthony Davis is a monster.
As far as
he just needs another star.
Yeah. As far as the Bulls go, I mean, I'm not super excited about the season, but I'm excited to see Wendell Carter.
The tank is over. I don't care if good or bad. The tank is over.
I wouldn't mind one more shitty year.
I feel the same, but they're not playing that way. They're playing to win games. They're done tanking. They don't want to.
I hope Wendell Carter goes down as a solid player for us because we need it to go with Laurie, and hopefully Zach LaVine comes out of his
first full season after they
Yeah.
sailed here.
Yeah.
So this is the season that counts. What you have to pay for him is what you have to pay for him, But this is the season where you're really going to learn about Zach LaVine. Last season was a wash regardless.
Yep. I think Hoiberg needs to go.
Well, we've just been waiting for him to get deeper into that contract. So,
True.
Because they're not going to pay him all that money.
True.
So this is what, year 4, 3? Don't know.
I mean, shit, bro. When right before we signed D Wade and Rondo and that whole fiasco of bailout, no, we're not gonna tank. We tricked you, haha.
We're looking to get
season
young and
tickets,
athletic.
buy them. I kind of shied away from the Bulls, and I hate to say that because I'm a diehard Bulls fan. I mean, it's Chicago Bulls or bust when it comes to basketball. But it was hard to say, you know what, I'm kind of staying away from the NBA right now. It's so dominated by LeBron and it's so dominated by Steph and the Warriors that what's the point of continuing to watch the same thing that's going to happen year in and year out, and
yeah.
you know, oh, I bet you $100 it's going to be Golden State and the Cavs in the finals. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it kind of just had to just shy away from it a little bit, but I've always been more of an avid college basketball fan than NBA, just because those kids are actually playing for something instead of, oh, I got paid, so whatever. You know, they're paying to keep their scholarship. They're playing to keep their minutes. They're playing to impress college or NBA scouts, and they're just, at the end of the day, they're playing for substance and meaning because they haven't made it yet.
Yeah. It was actually brought up to me last week, and I meant to talk to you about it, that we should talk college football. I personally don't watch college football.
Me either. It's not something that I ever got into.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure AK is the same way.
Yeah.
As much as we do enjoy feedback from the fan base, I also want to avoid talking about things that we are not knowledgeable about.
You see, when we talk hockey, you have my cousin come on and talk hockey because
we just listen.
Yeah, and ask questions. Yeah, you know what I mean? It's not, like Zach said, we do appreciate the feedback, but you don't want us up here talking about something we don't know what we're talking about, because that's when you get the dry spots and the no talking and the
Part of the show's integrity is knowing what we're talking about.
Right.
So to touch on stuff that we have no knowledge on, I mean, it's not fair to you guys, and it's just not going to sound good.
Right.
So where we are, I mean, if a really big matchup that we actually want to watch, like we want to shit on Notre Dame, that probably will happen.
Which I do, because Notre Dame fans are saying, "Oh, we want Bama. We want Bama."
Shut up.
No, you
Shut
don't.
up. You remember what happened the last time you played Alabama?
I can't stand Notre Dame fans, and there's so many that I encounter, and it's just like, good God, shut up.
When they played Alabama in the championship game, said, "Oh, we're gonna beat Bama. This is the best Notre Dame team ever."
Dumb.
I said, "Okay." Good luck.
No. It's just no.
Like, the game was over by the first quarter.
Like, no, Notre Dame, you don't want Alabama. You don't want that smoke.
Every time I hear a team
real
chant,
about it.
Every time I see, like, on highlights, a team chant, "We want Bama," it's like, you guys are fucking stupid.
Dumb. Dumb. That's like the goddamn Detroit Pistons saying, "Oh, yeah, we're ready for Golden State." Are you fucking kidding me?
Until Steph starts bombing away on you.
Who gives a shit what you're at? Yeah, Notre Dame has beat a couple significant opponents. I will give them that. I will tip my hat to them. But no, you don't want Alabama.
Have you seen what Alabama?
Nobody wants Alabama.
I've seen the highlights.
Yes, Alabama has lost. Yes, they don't win every year. But
don't feel that way, damn it.
They, year in and year out, have the best recruiting class, have the best preseason rankings. As long as Nick Saban is in Alabama, forget about it. Yeah. He's a god there. He ain't going anywhere anytime soon.
They're going to be in the playoff every year.
He's tried the NFL. Didn't work out. He tried the NFL again. Didn't work out.
His second time in the NFL, it wasn't not working out. It's just that he bailed before he had a chance.
Even at LSU, he was producing teams that were significant. Mm-hmm. Because in college, you pick your players. Your players aren't picked for you.
And
you have a lot more control of who puts on that uniform.
And they either graduate or go for the NFL long before they have a chance to actually hate you. So it works.
So no, Notre Dame fans, you don't want Alabama.
Not even close. And if you do somehow get your wish of getting Alabama, I'm going to bring this up again.
And if you do feel like replying and talking shit, smack talk.
Please do.
Instagram, Twitter.
Yes.
I mean,
at me, at the Real Cerebral. Please.
Because you don't want Alabama. Nobody in the SEC wants Alabama. You just don't. They can arguably beat NFL teams.
And personally, and one more thing, Tom, I know you're hearing this. You know exactly who I'm talking to. I am not talking Michigan football until you beat Ohio State. Beat Ohio State, and I will talk about Michigan football. Until then, I don't care.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're somehow 95 minutes into this shit.
I'm hungry, bro.
All right, player of the week time, says Joe's
shit.
stomach.
Oh, shit.
Come on, bro. Okay.
Go ahead.
So I'm going to go first.
I won't piggyback, I promise.
So, drum roll, everybody. Whatever. Last Sunday, we were asking questions. Would we ever see that breakout game from the kid? Is he our quarterback? That is still to be unseen. But on that given Sunday, Mitchell Trubisky showed up like he had never showed up before.
I don't mean to interrupt you. You really thought I was going to take Mitchell fucking Trubisky from you, bro?
Why wouldn't you?
Come on, man. Come on,
career high,
man.
Career high.
Come on, man.
Career high 6 tutties.
I got to bring the Chris Carter out on you, bro. Come on, man.
I miss Chris Carter. 6 tutties. Slinging it. Everybody was getting the ball. Everybody except for Kevin White. Slinging it. 19 for 26. Not a lot of pass attempts, but when you're up as much as they were, you don't need a lot of pass attempts. 354 yards. Not, I wouldn't say pedestrian, but when you throw that many touchdowns, you would think that a 400 or 500 yard game would happen. But the thing that matters the most is he has 6 touchdowns.
Yes. Yes.
I've as Bears fans, we've wanted to see them get the ball in the end zone more because they've proven that they can move down, up and down the field. It's just when they get into the red zone, do they know what to do with the ball? We saw the big play passes for over 20 yards. We saw the red zone offense being executed right. We saw them using Tariq Cohen in a lot of different
ways. He touched the fucking rock a lot.
A lot. Jordan Howard wasn't very productive in that game. He wasn't used a lot in that game, but that gives you options going forward. I mean, Jordan Howard is your running the ball running back. You are playing the worst pass defense in the league. Mm-hmm. Sorry, Jordan, take this game out.
Yeah.
So if for fantasy owners that are thinking maybe I should sit Jordan Howard, you got to realize the circumstance that they were in.
Right.
That Buccaneers rush defense isn't terrible.
Right.
So you're going to decide to pass the ball way more than that. So that's why Jordan Howard's numbers were down. Mitchell Trubisky and Matt Nagy came into the game with the perfect offensive game plan, and they executed it. I'm glad to see it as a Bears fan. I hope that he only improves from this. Granted, I know he's not going to throw 6 touchdowns every single week. Right. If he throws it again this season, I'd be ecstatic. I don't expect it out of him. Right. But what I want is consistently good quarterback play out of Mitchell Trubisky, and this is a step in the right direction. So proudly, happily giving Mitchell Trubisky my Smack Talk Player of the Week.
Got you. Well, I got one. It's not the most conventional one, and I wish AK was here, but I'm giving it to Chris Sale. That man finally got his first playoff W, much needed. Kind of took essentially the target off his back in a sense.
I'm gonna have to get audio drops because I want to do a round of applause for Chris Sale.
Yeah, man. I mean, it was a very tight game, but he got that target off his back. He got the monkey off his chest. However you want to refer to it. He went in, pitched good, got the W. I don't really care, regardless of who wins that series. Because if the Yankees lose,
baseball still going?
Because if the Yankees lose, I'm gonna have to deal with an emotional Aaron, and if the Red Sox lose, then I gotta hear, "We're gonna win the World Series, number 28." So it's kind of a lose-lose for me.
The Yankees win the World Series. I'm kicking AK off this podcast.
If the Yankees win another one, any Yankees fan you argue with, you could be smoking them in the argument. No matter what it may be. And you know when you have them smoked because they say, we won 27 world championships.
But you know what, though?
And it's, okay, well, you won like 15 of them when there were like 8 teams in MLB. Can't take anything away from it, though. 27 is 27.
True.
This fucking asshole that I got to sit across from watch his team win 5 World Series. Probably going to see 6, possibly even 7 because this team is young, too.
They're not going anywhere.
No. So I don't care who wins this series because I've emotionally removed myself from the repercussions that are going to take place because they're lose-lose for me because I live with them.
True.
But I'm going with Chris Sale. He finally got that W, much needed, because David Price sucks asshole in the playoffs. It's terrible. He's garbage.
Yeah. So are we ready to say that Chris Sale could potentially actually be a playoff pitcher? Or at least not a bad playoff pitcher? And that last year was just kind of a...
We'll see what happens because this series is going to go 5. So we're going to see him again this series. Mm-hmm. And we'll go from there. Mm-hmm. It's tough to say because the sample size is so small. But...
David Price, we know what he is.
Yeah. Go sit down.
Yeah.
Take that $214 million and put it under the mattress because someone's going to come and try to steal it from you, dude.
All right. So Joe's stomach is going off. Honestly, mine should be too. We're running a little late because we started late, so we want to get somewhere comfortable where we can watch these games, and I want to get this audio up before these games start. So this has been another episode of Smack Talk. Leave it on the court. Thank you guys for listening.